Tomorrow morning at about 9:41 in the morning, we'll be in this room, and on page 122, we'll be saying the words, Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. It says roughly, Baruch, blessed is the one who said words, and from those words the entire world came into being. We say those words every morning, almost as a reminder to us of the power of words themselves. Not only of prayers, but of the words that we say. It would make a lot more sense if that prayer said, Baruch Yotzer Ha'olam, Baruch Koneh Ha'olam. God, blessed is the one who created the universe. Blessed is the one who formed the world. Blessed is the one who took nothingness and through the great power of physics and chemistry turned it into something. But instead it says, Baruch She'amar, blessed is the one who spoke words, who said words, and because of those words, the entire world came into being. It reminds us every morning of how powerful words are and how we have to be careful of the words that we say. I heard somebody say that before you say anything about somebody else, you should ask yourself two questions. One, is it true? Two, is it nice? I heard somebody else say, no, it's three questions. One, is it true? Two, are you sure it's true? Number three, are you positive that it is true? Make sure that what you are saying is actually real, not just hearsay, not just gossip, not just something that you want to share with somebody else, but will it make the world a better place? Will the words that you say create a world, help make the world into what it could be? We say words and we hear our kids speak words, and for a small amount of time, from roughly when they're Ames's age until they're about Ryan's age, from when they start speaking until this age or so, we have the ability as parents to hear what they say and to correct them, to remind them of, is it nice? Is it true? Are you sure it's true? Are you positive it's true? We can say those things to them. And our rabbis of history chose this age for bar mitzvah because they realized even back then that this is the age where it becomes a lot harder for a parent to stop what their kid is saying, to stop the truths that they are hearing from the world around them. We complain now about social media ruining our kids, and I imagine that our parents spoke about something else, MTV ruining our minds, and their parents spoke about something else, the Victrola ruining their minds, whatever it was before. And every generation had somebody thinking that it was better in our day because we know how hard it is to control what our kids hear. And so we know not only religiously, but literally, that we have less influence over what they hear and what they repeat, what they say, what world they are creating. The Torah part that we're going to read tomorrow morning says a line that maybe half of you are going to have a hard time with, which is that a man can nullify the words of his wife, but only immediately. And if we can get past the male centricity of antiquity, we read what our sages, who were, by the way, all male rabbis about 1,500 to 2,000 years ago, say about it, and they have a hard time with it too. These male rabbis from 2,000 years ago also have a hard time with this part of the Torah, and they emphasize the part that I happened to say quickly, which is that the husband can negate those words only immediately, only right away. If he waits even a little bit after hearing what she says, they say, then her words are her own. She has her own mind and she can say what she wants. Why? The Talmud's answer is silence is assent. If you let somebody say something and you don't jump right in and try to correct, try to educate, as we learned on Tuesday night, one of our great congregants of blessed memory, Jeff Finn, when he heard something that you said, and if he didn't agree with it, he'd say, maybe we have to do a little more studying. Maybe we should read a little bit more, because there is always more to learn. And if you remain silent in the sound of something that's not nice and not true, then you are assenting to it. Last week, on this very bima, I got to officiate a wedding. It was a lovely, joyous occasion. There were a total of 10 people here. It was so lovely right here on this bima. And somewhere in the wedding, somewhere as we're going on and in this small group, the groom talks about the ketubah. And his brother is in the room, and the brother says, how much does a ketubah cost? And the groom says, "Don't be such a Jew." I am non-confrontational, but I thought to myself, I have to say something about this. I don't want to embarrass him. I don't want to shame him, but I kindly, in that exact moment, I knew I had to say something, even though he is not my wife. I still have the ability to say something in that moment because I couldn't let it go. I don't know who else heard what he said, but if I took him aside later, if a week later I emailed him and said, "I've been thinking about what you said, and I think that we shouldn't be saying, 'Don't be such a Jew,' then I don't know if it would have had the impact to make sure that everybody who was in earshot right then, at that very moment, could say, maybe we shouldn't say that, could hear those words, not a week later, but right then. I think the central line of the Torah, the central line of Judaism, if there's one line of Torah that most Jews know, more than any other line, it says, Shema Yisrael, Hear, O Israel. Or, as my teacher, Rabbi Feinstein, says, listen up, Jews, is what this central line of Torah says. There's only one adjective in this line of 6 words. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. We call God one adjective in this line. It is not God, you are powerful. God, you are mighty. God, you are strong. God, you are omnipotent, omniscient. God, you are one. You are Echad. You are the symbol. You are the reminder twice a day when we go to sleep, when we wake up in the morning. You are the reminder of unity, that our job is to take care of each other, that our job as human beings is to look out for each other. A reminder that all of our prayers are asking for communal change, communal redemption, taking care of the entire community. None of the prayers are about me, not during the Shabbat service and not during the high holidays where we think about our past year. It's always communal, about healing all of us, about housing all of us, about protecting all of us. Not me, us. By worrying only about ourselves, by letting the world fall into disrepair because we don't care about what happens to other people, is denying the Echad, the oneness of God. It's silence. It's dissent. It is the silence of assent. And I hope that in Judaism, in religion, in all people who are moral, we also have the opposite as well. If you hear something good, then you say this ancient Hebrew word which means truth. This word in Hebrew is amen. Not an hour later, but right when you hear it. When Ryan tomorrow morning up here on the Bima, starting at 9:30, gets up here at about 9:31, he's going to say a list of blessings. For each of these prayers, we say amen. When he praises God for bringing goodness into the world, we say amen. And when he praises God for taking care of the sick, for giving houses to those who don't have, for making sure that everybody has food to eat, we say amen. When he says a prayer for peace in Israel, we say amen. For all of these moments, we need to respond in that moment, not an hour later, not going up to him at Kiddush and say, I agreed with the prayers that you said. Right there, we help him, remind him to create the world that his words have power. As we enter into this Shabbat, as the sun is just setting, and we have what traditional Jews say is 25 hours of living in this palace in time. As we enter these sacred days, some sacred for your families in special ways, may we continue to say amen to each other's words, helping sanctify this moment. A reminder that as we go out into the world, that we say amen to others, that we show support, we show kindness, and we help them build the world of their vision as well. Shabbat Shalom.